on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Matt Tolson. As you clicked on the title and the thumbnail, I know you clicked on this video to see this kit get installed on my Jeep and not to see me. I get that. I totally understand. I don't blame you. I just wanted to check in to tell you I'm editing out the video right now. This is a walkthrough on the bolting on the front and the rear, all that good stuff. Part 3 is getting filmed right now. It is going to be a more in-depth review of the parts, the specs, what I went with, how I like it so far, and a cool video all around. Make sure to subscribe, like the video. Without further ado, I'll let you guys get back into it. Alrighty, first step is going to be drilling out the lower shock mounts. This is so you can bolt on the RECON coilovers to attach the lower part of the coilover. As you can see, we have taken everything apart. Next step is just going to be cutting out those factory bump stops. As you can see, I kind of kept the factory inner liner. Only thing holding it on is the arms. Next up is going to be bolting on the bump stop to the mount. Make sure to do this before you install it onto the Jeep, because once it's on there, there's not much room above the mount. So make sure to get this super tight while it's off the Jeep. As you can see, we have it wrapped up so it doesn't damage the powder coat. Next up is going to be drilling out the holes for the top of the coilover bucket. This is where the bump stop and upper mount bolt together. As you can see, we got to drill out 3 holes. I'm pretty sure 2 of the holes are already there, but you got to drill out a couple of the holes up there. Then is going to be mounting up the bump stop, kind of making sure it's going to fit, seeing how it's going to look, and then next step is bolting it up. As I said, next step is going to be kind of bolting it all together. It's nice to have 2 people kind of to help to make sure everything lines up, and then just hand tighten the bolts on there up until make sure everything fits and line up all the holes. Then next step is going to be obviously tightening down the lower mount. This is going to be the biggest bolt. This is the kind of I wouldn't say the support of the entire thing, but this bolt has a lot of stress on it, so make sure this one's super tight and it's lined up perfectly with the frame. And then just make sure it's tight. Once it's tight, and then the next step is going to be tightening the other bolts. Now that the bottom bolt is tightened in, go back through and tighten up the bump stop and upper mount. There's 3 bolts on there, so make sure those are super tight. As you can tell, this is going to be supporting the coilover, so it's got to be super strong. Just make sure those are tight. Now, as you can see, there is absolutely no room to tighten down that bump stop bolt. Once it is on the bracket, we made that mistake the first time, so that's why you saw us tightening it down in the clamp. As you can see, we got the lower mount on there with the new hardware, and as you can see, the coilover is hanging down a little bit below. We'll go back into that later.
That's all I wanted out, bro.
As I was saying earlier, the coilover is hanging down below the mount. This is because I still have the factory control arm and drive shafts on the vehicle. I'm waiting for the TerraFlex long arms and the Atom drive shafts. I'm getting ready to order those right now. Once those get here, then we'll be able to go back through and get that fixed. But the hardest part was getting enough droop to get those coilovers to fit. You can run it on stock arms for a little bit. It isn't obviously recommended because you can't droop out the coilovers all the way, but it does work. I have been driving on it, driving just fine. So don't be afraid to, put it on with stock arms in case your long arms haven't arrived yet. And then the biggest thing was getting that drive shaft and then all the control arms off. So make sure the axle's supported when you do that, so then it doesn't fall off and destroy everything. Now that we got the front all tidied up, we head back to the rear just to bolt on the lower mounts. We had to do the same. We had to droop out the axle this time. It wasn't as hard with the rear. As you can see, the arms are still connected and we were still able to get the bolts on there. The front had a little bit more difficulty because there's a lot more going on up there. Make sure to go back through and tighten all the bolts. As you can see, we got the mount on there with the new hardware, and the factory hardware goes on for the lower coilover mount. And everything is looking good. Now that everything's tightened up, I'm just going to kind of go back through and show everybody what it kind of looks like so far. So I'm going to kind of let the audio and the clip do the rest of the talking for the rest of this little bit.
One side's in.
bolted up. Bottom in. Got the rear. Rear's fully done. Just need to mount the bypasses. Mount them right here. Last bit. Need to adjust them to fit the height for the 39s. Got that. Parts list is empty almost. Just got the coilovers, last bit of sway bars, and the brake lights. And should be good to go. Now that everything is kind of mounted up, we're just going back through, double checking everything. As you can see, the bypasses are still hanging. We get those bolted into the inner fender, and as you can see, here they are bolted up on. This is kind of just a quick little sneak peek. Make sure to subscribe and like the video, and stay tuned. Part 3 is being filmed currently. We're doing a super cool reveal video and a walkthrough of everything that I've done to the Jeep, the specs, my plans for the Jeep, so make sure to subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it's helpful if you're looking at getting the Rebel Off-Road kit. I highly recommend it. Everything's working out great so far. I'll go into more depth on what I think of the kit and how the install process went. So make sure once again to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.